Good morning, good morning. morning, good morning. Looks like gold did a bit of a drop yesterday. GJ did a bit of a drop. You can see yesterday's gold analysis played out pretty nice, as well as GJ. Pretty much as we were discussing yesterday. We were saying about gold targets being this area, and then this ultimately this is zone 1923. It's pretty much bang on. Pretty much said once we started to see the breakdown in this way, start to break down below the structure, then you can take sells and look to target pretty much these two areas, and the continuation was pretty obvious at that stage. So that was nice. Then obviously GJ, we were talking about trying to get this downside yesterday, coming from around this area. So look, pretty much what happened was the pullback at 7 was pretty hefty. We came back to basically again our level of resistance and rejection to reject again, and then pretty much 8:30 onwards pretty much gave you the opportunity for downside. So once you start to see this candle, once you start to see that candle, the downside's pretty much on, to basically hit this zone and then look to see if we're going to push through pretty much. And then like I said, safer entries would come once we start to see candles, pretty much exactly as I said yesterday. Once you start to see candles leaving this zone, coming away from, creating resistance, then you're gonna get a decent move. And then we said the targets was around 180, 150s. We're pretty much bang on. So yeah, pretty much my entry came from this area here, so I'll just show you my entry. So that was the trade I took yesterday, pretty much. As you can see, not decent risk reward. Good trade. Waited for solid options. Because you can see within here, even though I still took sells around 8:30 as well to push down to this main range, you can see the choppiness of that further pullback. But then once we actually start to break outside of that zone, start to pull back a little bit, creating resistance, we weren't coming back at that point. So then we had clean moves all the way down to pretty much 182, and then continuation to 181.750 was pretty much on, which was nice. So that was yesterday's options. So that was the second entry, and then like I said, the other entry I had came from this level. Okay, and obviously target was pretty much anywhere in here, pretty much was the targetable area. And then you can see, why we then obviously created that pullback. Then once we started to break through, again pullback, resistance, continuation was bang on. And then yeah, like I say, gold as well was pretty nice yesterday. But I think we've got to be careful now with gold, because from a daily standpoint, where we need to pay attention now is pretty much we can reside above this level here, and if you reside above there, then you can see daily closing bullish as such. So you may not get that downside. But I think, if we start to break down below the current 4-hour low, and again we do something similar to yesterday, where we start to see lower time frames breaking down, and then starting to create structural change, we can then look to target this area, yes. But till then, we could potentially reside above this above this previous zone, which is also your daily area of interest, and you know, you could see a bit of a push up in fairness, so we have to wait. Man, I'm tired today. Yeah, and pretty much GJ right now, a bit more tricky for continued downside, because in theory, yeah, we've seen big ass heavy daily bearish candle, which means we're not going to be necessarily buying straight away, right? Because it's not really the ideal, but ultimately what we could look to see is if we're going to pull back to, let's say, somewhere around the 182, which is where we've seen a lot of previous rejections. Okay, we can see pretty much all around here, even as obviously we know the 182.5 could be a max pullback for upside, that then we start to then see change to continue back that way, and then we ultimately hit the main lows at like 180.5. Or is this all just top wick, and we are gonna see yesterday's daily candle filled and then look something like this? So if we go to a weekly, you know, we couldn't really come down to the weekly target, which makes me think, are we gonna leave a wick and then next week we start to push down and fill it in this manner? Now, if we see something like that next week, that doesn't necessarily mean then, oh, right now we're gonna all end up all the way down here and fill that wick. Not necessarily. I probably want to see a huge upside failure, you know, where a weak bullish candle, or even something that pulls all the way up to create another heavy downside candle. Then we can start talking about further downside. But pretty much where we're at right now, we're still residing above our monthly zone.
The Body Shop would like to share this advice for living more.
Sorry, it's adverts. Pretty much we're still residing above this monthly level, so you can see pretty much why we've had this little reaction. We've pulled back to August's monthly low, which is where we pretty much had that whole upside candle from, and kind of rejecting at this stage. So we're still creating higher levels of wicks as such. Until we see this monthly close, we don't really know. But let me just say one thing: if the monthly candle closes as it is, downside could be on, but we would need to see some form of an upside rejection. And then if we start to get weeklies and dailies closing outside of this zone, then we can start to talk about further downside back into the 170s. But until then, for me, we're not still going down longer term. We're still very much bullish longer term. You know, structure on the weekly is still heavy to the upside. And what we can see is pretty much this is just a pullback in theory, whether we talk about downside but this is the same as this, which means you're one ass candle away on weeklies, something like this, from seeing a bit more upside again. But whether we're going to break through depends, because well, we like to see lower time frame to get better confirmation for longer term sells. Is we like to see a candle that pushes us back up that everybody thinks is buys, and then when that new candle completely fails and we clearly cannot break further than that, then we are very likely to see some more downside at that point. But yeah, that's kind of really it from a higher time frame point of view. But if you're looking to take sales on GJ, pretty much I'll be waiting to nearer open, to be honest. Pretty much same as yesterday and Monday's move. We'll be having to wait for pretty much nearer open to see if we're gonna, because the two moves that came earlier before open, we had heavy pullback. Sorry, pardon me. We had heavy pullbacks before the continuation of the move, so I'll pretty much be waiting till around open to see if we're going to start creating candles that begin to break down. Then we can target pretty much anywhere within this zone is decent to continue sells. If we hold the structural area above here, I'm not going to say take buys because it doesn't necessarily mean buys, but in theory we could see further pullbacks if we respect this structure to not to correct the move, but to potentially see further pullbacks to maybe this area here, and then later on, maybe next week, we then start to get the rejections from those areas. Now that we've seen a downside below this whole area that pretty much was held up all week, if we start to then come back to this area and reject, we've pretty much got all of this as downside target again, all the way back down to these levels here. So this is why it's pretty important to just sit and wait. Plus it's Friday, so we don't want to necessarily rush into any sort of trade, but yeah, pretty cool. And then obviously we discussed gold. Could see some upside, but I'd want to see some solid ass candles before I even consider it. So yeah, we'll see. Leave it on gold for a minute. But yeah, did anyone else catch any sells yesterday? Because there was some good sells on both GJ and gold. So did anyone catch any of those moves? I think yesterday pretty much gave the best moves of the week, to be honest. Especially for pound yen. Yeah, I'm personally gonna wait to around open to see, or even after 8 AM, see if we can get some volume. It's pretty much pre-session volumes this week has been pretty dead, so we're gonna wait for 8 AM and see if we're gonna get a nice move. Good morning, Simon. How you doing? How's life, mate? Nice for someone to say something. In fact, I need to do something. Make sure you guys like the stream as well, because we want to try and grow the stream again and try and get some decent viewers again and make it nice and interesting. Yeah, does anyone know how to get that chatbot thing? Here he is, here he is. Donald. Donald. Morning, bro. Morning. Sorry, I could hear you.
Oh. Yeah, I forgot I was on mute.
No, you're good. You're good.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
I'm not good. I broke my hand yesterday.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you're joking.
No, for real, bro. My left hand is... Well, it's not anymore.
Oh, mate.
At least it's not my right, so I can execute.
Yeah.
So.
How did you do that? You trip over and fall or something?
Yeah, I tripped over, and when I fell, I landed badly on my hand.
Bloody hell, mate.
Yeah, that's shit.
That's mad.
Yeah. Now I need to keep something on my hand for 2 weeks.
Shit. I feel for you, bro.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
It's annoying. It's the second time I hurt his hand.
Yeah?
Yeah. A while back I had an accident with a bicycle. I jump over, so like 2 meters in the air, something like that. Yeah. Anyway, story of my life, as it says. DJ made a hell of a drop yesterday.
Yeah, it did, to be fair. Oh, come on, just to hear this shit. Sorry, these adverts do my head in on Spotify. I can't be asked to pay for the Man, I've forgotten how to do that. How did I do that? There is a filter on it. What did I do? What did I do? Scroll? Ah, yes, he's worked it out. Cool. Alright, nice. So how long are they saying it's going to take to... How long are they saying it's going to take to heal, Donald?
2 weeks.
Ah.
Yeah. At least it'll be fine in 2 weeks. As they said. 2 weeks will be okay.
Still though, bro. Bit shit though,
Yeah.
innit?
Yeah, bro, what can I do, man? It is what it is.
Yeah.
It's been really nice couple of weeks.
Yeah.
At first, my tires of my car blow off.
Oh, mate.
Yeah. Next, my bicycle tires blow off.
No.
Yeah. And next, trading is like, okay. And next, I break my hand, and I don't know what else. I don't know.
Oh, bro. Sod that.
So this 2 weeks has been like shit. Real shit. So, anyway. What can you do?
Nah, not
You
much,
have to
bro.
take life. You have to take life as it is, though. So you'll be happy.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Exactly.
It's not like that. No.
I saw your buys yesterday on gold. You must have got stopped in it because I saw gold did a bit of a well, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, I think, what did you get in over here somewhere, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was a little lower than that. Yeah, something like that.
Oh yeah, I think you got in this bottom wick, innit? Yeah. Yeah, we got that nice downside that we discussed coming from this area here, which we said we want to see some form of a replication of this, which is pretty much what we got.
Yeah. I was expecting for something like false break, so it retraced to upper level, but when I saw that it hit my stops, I mean break even, and I said, well, this could be a nice sell to a nice zone, to the next zone. So
oh, right, then you took sells. Yeah.
Yeah, into the cells and it went really nice.
Yeah.
I closed too early though. I closed on New York Open and it put like 40 pips past that when I closed.
Yeah, I think yesterday was probably the best day of the week for volume overall, because we were saying about this. Because obviously I caught sells from in this area and then after 8 a.m. So that's why today, if I'm going to look for sells where we start to see candles do this, then I'm going to wait till after volume, after 8
Yeah,
8 onwards.
yesterday it was like hell of a volume. It's been really a while that gold had that volume. And
Mm.
GJ both yesterday had great volume.
Oh yeah,
It,
GJ yesterday was good volume.
yeah, even gold. It moved a lot. It's been really a while that both of them had volume like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, the thing about GJ now is realistically we need to to see buys, to see upside again. I mean, we're going to need to see pretty much one of two things on the higher time frame. We're going to need to create range. It's either that, so we need to come back, respect this level and fail to break down, and then once we start to see a break of whatever range is created and then we change structure, we can then start looking for upside again. But at this point now, the downside is pretty clear. Unless we can basically correct this move, then you may see a bit of a pull up to somewhere, and then more than likely it will just start breaking back down again if the higher time frames align with that. But just have to see, because it's a bit of a tricky one, because this pretty much our whole area that we tapped into yesterday, so this whole structural, well, kind of pretty much all this area, to be honest, all this is your structural support that pretty much held up all of our move in August, etc. Even going back to like June, July as well, this was the whole support. So we could come a bit deeper into this level before seeing price potentially head back up, but it all depends really. But I think for today's situation, it's whether we basically reject previous levels, which I was saying pretty much 182 will be the area that I'm paying attention to, which is kind of like this pretty much this area here where we're at right now is going to be really tough to take buys, really hard, because you can see the inconsistency of taking buys at 182 was pretty much can't. You need to see structure above 182, which gave you the better opportunity. So in order for me to take any type of buys, we need to see today's candle closing bullish, and then anything coming back creating support above the 182, we can then take certain trades, but max targets will be previous levels of structure, because again we don't really know whether that's going to be a rejection area or so. Yeah, but pretty much if I was going to say where my bias for buys would start to come back in, would pretty much be once we start to reside back above the 183. If we start to see dailies closing, let's say today's candle close as it is, and then we start to see a situation like this where Monday's candle starts to push up, and then we start to see candles printing back this way. At that point there, as long as we don't see this where we get heavy ass downside, okay, then it's not buys yet. Then we need to wait to see. It's going to be a bit long to draw, but we would need to see a higher support structure forming that then gets respected to continue back this way. So trust me, You see something like this on dailies, longer term, heading all the way back to 186, 187, 185. Trust me on that. But right now, we ain't seen that. We haven't seen anything like that. This is the thing. This is where people can get caught, though. Where people can get caught is they see a daily candle do something like this, and they automatically think we're going to now head down all the way there. Not necessarily. You know, I've seen plenty of examples where we won't do that. Okay, we may smash all the way through this, and then, you know, we may then start to reside back above this, because we've seen it before where you get one candle. So we've seen situations before where you get heavy news, such as this candle here. We come all the way back to previous structures, heavy downside, we break through all of our structural support, and then the next candle, nope, we ain't going down. We come all the way back into that range, and you'll see a bit of an upside push. Then once we see that pullback that changed structure on dailies, then we can get the extension of that move, which is what basically I want to see a replication of in order for me to pretty much have longer term plays. So let's say, for example, I see a daily candle do something like this over here. After seeing this structural change, I will then be targeting longer term 186 and 185 pretty much. That will be the play if we see that. Okay, but that's if we see that. Right, I'll leave it back on 30 minutes. Because you could very well see an upside push today, but my feeling is I don't want to be buying above, below the 182 or anything until I start to see a structure. Because pretty much we're just one heavy downside candle away from seeing that further downside again. So you have to be careful. I'll leave that on here. swear we had news at 7 though. Has JPY news come out yet? Oh, they done it. Yeah, kept everything the same. GBP retail sales didn't really hold much weight. The retail sales, did it? Even though it was positive, it wasn't what was expected. But it didn't really move the market. I can't lie. Yeah, JPY rate stayed the same. So pretty much everything the same. Yeah, it'd be nice if we get a few more people on the YouTube. Then we can have more discussion, go through certain things. Oh my god, this advert. God, that does my head in. Alright guys, so we got like half an hour now till open, so this is where I'm going to start paying attention, because we got the top wick on the 4 hour. Yeah, pretty much if we start to break down below this level here, ideally closing below that previous resistance with a nice top wick rejection, then I think you can look for sells to continue that move down. But for me personally, you could even wait to see if we're going to pull back all the way to here, because to be honest, this would be our key area for the week, whether we're going to create structure and then start breaking down. Then you can hold much more longer term, initially this level and then the next level. Oh, Donald. Oh, cheers, bro. That's alright. No, cheers. Thanks, bro. Yeah, pretty much you can look to hold longer term, but yeah, this is our level of breakout, so to speak, from a 4 hour. We pretty much spoke about this level all week. So we've seen our initial breakout now. We formed the target outside of this range. So in theory, anything pulling back, we want to then start to see sort of range creation, and then a breakdown of that change of structure. We can then look at these areas within this level as targets. Okay, probably something similar to this, but the flip side, where you see a breakout to the upside, targets form, we pull back, clearly respect our area that we've broken out from. Now you're looking for support to form to continue that move and hit the target and continue, right? Pretty much same idea, but on the flip side. So whether we're going to still end up all the way over here for the session doesn't mean it's buys, but it means that, okay, we may do so, and therefore when we get to this level, if we can then start to see heavy rejections on things like hours, then clearly we've got an opportunity to first of all target whatever structure is in here and then ultimately down here. But you obviously need to be targeting specific levels within these pullbacks, because things on hour and 30 minutes are going to be pretty important and key. Right, I'm going to leave it on gold. I'm going to go make a drink. And then yeah, I'll be back. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. So I'll just leave you with that. Right, I'll be back. Yo. Oh shit, Zoom's ended. Yeah, GJ doing a nice pullback. I suppose it depends how we're gonna. Yeah, there won't be any opportunities for me to take buys today anyway. Let me see if I can get this Zoom back on. Just CBA to pay for it until we get a proper audience in here. Don't know if it's gonna let me. I've got to wait 5 more minutes. But yeah, we'll see what open does, because we could still see some heavy downside. Yeah, could still see price, see candles doing this 100%, you know, and then as we sort of break back below this level, you can look to target, but we've already outlined that. It's going to be a bit tricky because we are seeing some heavy pullback. Just doesn't make it easier. But yeah, but there weren't really an opportunity for buys. If you wanted to take buys based off structure, then realistically you would needed to have seen adverts, man. You would have needed to have seen more than likely this 30-minute or at least the hour closing above, but we didn't. We stayed at it, failed. So now 7:30 doing the push up, trying to continue this sort of structural thing we got going on. But yeah, I mean, you're not missed any movers, but that way there's no buys to miss. It's purely just a pullback on the 4 hour, but this is where it becomes really key, because we've already spoke about this area, how this is going to be pretty massive. If we do something like this where London closes like this and then MY 4 hour candle pulls back and then starts to do this, then clearly we ain't going down yet. Like, this whole move was just a pricing in of the fact that potential, you know, we've seen the rate hike paused, maybe it's further pricing in of, you know, they start to what's the word, like reduce interest rates. So if we see a correction of this push down yesterday, I'm not saying you can't sell it, because there'll be opportunity for sales later on, because ultimately we create a target now. But in theory, if we don't come back to this area, then we start to reside structurally back above and we start seeing candles clearly respecting that previous zone, then sales become very tough, and also buys become tough until we start to see certain things happen. But yeah, this is just a straight pull back after a heavy downside. But you know, this way you just got to be careful. You know, realistically, if you wanted to buy yesterday, you know, you know, realistically, you couldn't even really take buys until we started to exceed this level. So once you've seen this range be created, let's say you wanted to take it based off the fact we've tapped into our monthly zone, our high time frame zone, you would have already been in the trade before this. But even with this, you know, it's not a very solid situation to put yourself in. To be honest. Right, should work now. Maybe not. Yeah, well, we've got seven minutes to open. Right. Yeah, for gold downside, pretty much same similar analysis. You're gonna want to see a breakdown of this structure here. So sells below sort of 1922.5 again, pretty much will give you a good opportunity. If we start to see candles again 30 minutes breaking down this way, and then you get closures below here, anything pulling back to this area creating a resistance 515, candles leaving that area, your initial target would be 1920ish. That'd be your first target, but you may not get all the way down here, so just be careful watching this level, because sometimes you can pull back to this level and then still retrace a bit, so just bear that in mind. Yeah, GJ pushing up, so we're chilling for a bit, well, till open at least. But to be honest, I think at the minute, yeah, I think for the minute what we're seeing is there's a lot of Bank of Japan. I'm getting a lot of what's the word, notifications through speeches, so I think that's why we're sort of seeing a little bit of volatility, sort of heavier candles, not really giving confirmation, so to be expected. Yeah, we could correct this move, to be fair. The thing is, it's all the main issue we've got is it's all based off. So pretty much yesterday was based off news. Today's sort of retracement is based off news. So I think we have to be very careful trading today, to be honest. Which we said anyway. But if you look, there was no confirmation for buys. I mean, you know, you wouldn't be taking it necessarily on break of a high or whatever, because we know after seeing yesterday's heavy downside that it doesn't make sense to do so. But we'll see. Right, we'll wait to see open for a couple minutes and then we'll call it a day. Yeah, I don't think gold's gonna head down either right now. Not yet, anyway. We may need to see and wait for that confirmation. Right, let's see what GJ does here. What we got? 20 seconds. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see, but I wouldn't be taking buys here at this point or anything like that. I probably wouldn't be touching this at all, to be honest. But yeah, you could see open and give you a nice push to the upside, potentially, yeah. But we'll see.
I got use it.
Yeah, can't lie. Opens being a bit dead, isn't it?
Hello, Jim.
How's it going, bro?
Just washing my car before I go to work.
Yeah, I've got to go in a sec, to be fair, as well.
How it's moving?
Hmm?
How it's moving in the market?
Yeah, GJ's doing a bit of a retracement. Just looking at GN. Yeah, GJ's done a bit of a retracement back to the upside. But yeah, I'd be very careful taking buys or sells, to be honest, right now. There's not really much confirmation for either or, to be honest.
Gold seems like it's forming nicely for a buy.
Gold. Yeah, could very well push up, create the structure above that level. Yeah, very well. I'll just be careful at this. We've got this little wick. Got to watch that level there. Could see a bit of a pullback from that position, but yeah, I think buys make sense, but it's a tricky one. I think probably should have already been in the trade with gold buys. I think, because if I was going to trade this, I'd probably been looking to get in off of this pullback to hit this level here, and then I'd already be sort of out of that trade or break even or whatever if it was me personally. But I'm not gonna. I knew I wasn't gonna take any trades today. Said I had a good day yesterday, but yeah. Alright, YouTube, well, I'm gonna call it a day. So yeah, it was good first week back on the streams and that, so enjoyed that. Hopefully we get some more people coming in next week, and hopefully we can get some more numbers in, get more discussion, and then it'll be much better. But I think now we've got a lot of the fundamental news out of the way, we should see some cleaner moves next week. Like I say, because this week was pretty much until we saw, till we had FOMC and all that come out, and MPC and CPI for pound, then we started to see some cleaner movements at that point. And then obviously now JPY, we're also seeing the retracement, or whether it's going to be a pullback or whether it's going to be a correction. But once we're back above pretty much 183, we know it's going to be a correction of that move, so to speak, and then we would need to wait for solid confirmation on things like daily, etc., to see further downside, because very well this could have just all been a pullback to a much deeper monthly zone. We can create structure now, change to start pushing our way back up. So that's what we're going to look at next week, but it all depends how weekly and daily closes, to be honest. But yeah, alright guys, well anyway, enjoy the rest of your trading day. Trade safe today, just because like I say, it's pretty much heavy news today. Lots of PMI and lots of other things, so if you haven't already, just call it a week, and yeah, come back Monday. So see you everyone on Monday. Make sure you like, subscribe, make sure you share this to anyone that you can. Obviously, the more people we have here, the better the environment. More discussion. We can help people. That's what we're here to do. So, cool. Take care,
brother.
Yeah, take care. Have a good weekend, and see you everyone.